Hi, it's Jo. So we're at the last but one video of painting the horse, so it's pretty exciting. It's nearly finished now. And I'm going to be looking at some other subjects to tackle, but I think probably to start with, because I've been painting watercolour for a number of years and teaching watercolour, so I think we're going to go back to some basics and start covering a bit about paint application and you know, where to start, maybe a touch on the colour spectrum, so yeah, a bit about blending and some washes. So, but if you have any requests or any ideas, please forward them my way, and I would love to sort of, you know, do some short videos on tackling them. So again, thanks for watching and subscribing, and I hope you enjoy the video. Thanks very much.
So hi, before we actually start the painting, I just really wanted to sort of show you where I've got to so far. So we've done the broad head and obviously the cheekbone. So all I really had to do on the horse is the front of the nose here, the end of it. So I did do a glaze. I did a sort of a crimson glaze over what I'd already painted, which has given it more of a reddish hue than a brownish hue. And obviously I finished all of the straps here. So all I've got to do is this bit. I've got to do the nose strap and one ring and the ring there. Yeah, so I think I'm quite happy with the way it's coming along. So now, and I just wanted to show you my palette. I work on a plate, so it's looking pretty messy, but that's the way that I like to work. I like access to all the colours that I'm using. So we're just going to enlarge it a little bit, so hopefully you'll still be able to see what I'm painting. Okay, so I should put my photograph there. Maybe move it up a little bit. There we go. Hopefully you'll still be able to see that. Okay. So I'm going with with the flat brush just to start with, because I like to do a broad wash, which will lay all the undercolours in. So a watery wash using the lamp black and the crimson and a touch of burnt sienna. So you use the side of the brush to go up against all of your pencil lines. The more accurate that you can do it at this point, the easier it gets when you're putting in the last final details. Now this is a cold pressed paper, so you can see that there is a slightly bumpy surface to my paper, which you can't see once you start putting more paint on. The layers, you can't see it. But you can see it in the background. You can see where there's a slightly interesting surface. Right. I think that will do. So now I'm changing to a round brush just because I want to start laying in these a little bit more accurately. So this video will just be really about putting these under layers in. Okay. Okay, so we got to that point, and we just use the brush like a pencil just to sort of smooth it all out. Now we have to go to, what have we got, number 4 round, and I'm going in with a very dark sort of sepia and black, and I just want to draw the nostril in. You see how it's obviously not that thick, and you see where it's flaring there, and we don't really want that too much. So I'm going to go and correct it in a minute. It's because that's happened because my paper's really wet. but that's okay. It's easy to correct at this point. So I'll wash my brush out. I've got my kitchen paper. Wash your brush out, dampen it off, and then you take out. You can even take out, there's a little highlight on the nostril there. So you can even take that out at this stage. And then that turns around there. So the thing about horses' noses is they're very, very soft. So we don't, apart from the actual nostril, we don't really want many hard lines here. We want to try and recreate that softness. Now, it is very dark down here. So we're going to put some dark colours in. And I am adding a little bit of the crimson. And I'm being very careful around the edge because I don't want to splodge. Can you see how dark that is? So when I did the under bit of the mouth, I used exactly the same technique. Putting in a really watery wash and then taking out paint. It is quite dry. It's drying already. Okay. Now where it's bleeding in down here. So we're just going to take that out again, just to keep that softness. Okay. So it's still nice and wet up here, so I can work into it. Okay, so now we're going to put in some more broader dark areas. So here, right, there's one here. I don't know if you can see this. There's a broad area that goes from about there comes down there, something like that. And then it's a lot lighter underneath, so we want to make sure that that bit underneath stays a bit lighter. If you need to, just keep mopping your brush off on the tissue paper. Right, and it's very dark down here by the bit ring as well. And the shadow of the noseband. So we can safely put that in quite dark. Our last video on the horse will be about painting the bit ring and possibly the rein as well, the last rein. Now above that, And then we've just got to do around the nostril. It still needs more work. When I leave these videos, I probably go and do a lot more work on it, but I'm hoping that you can at least get the gist of where to start, because people often don't know where to start when it comes to animals. And I don't know if you can see, but you know, watercolour dries so much lighter than you put it on. So you put it on and you think, oh, that's nice and dark. And then you go back 5 minutes later and it's all faded to nothing. So you have to do it again. You can see even with the taking out, you have to keep doing it again because it still bleeds. The colour bleeds into places that you don't want it. I think we'll just strengthen that up. See, this will need to be strengthened again. You see how pale that's gone? And it's supposed to be really dark. Now you will notice on horses' muzzles that you often get these lines happening. So again, you might want to take some out. So I've just washed my brush out, got rid of all the colour. And we're just going to take a few of those lines out. Also got some little, not pimples, but you know, you get some little marks around the muzzle. So these are not going to go white, and I don't want them white. They're just little lighter areas. See these little dots? You get there's little marks around the muzzle area. And there's a vein that goes about there. So if you do this while it's wet, it's a lot easier. Yeah, I think I'll leave that there. So it's given you a good overview of how you start. So it still does need work, but we've got the basis there, the basics. All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you next time when we're going to be working on the bit ring and possibly the rein. We'll see how we go. Okay, well, you have a great week. Thanks very much.